It's range day with the AP53, imported by Century Arms, manufactured by MKE in Turkey. It is an HK53 clone. And I was super excited when I found out these were being brought into the United States. Before that, you would have to have one of these things built out, cost a lot of money, but now very affordable. You can go on, pick one of these up. This particular one is from Atlantic Firearms, and super happy with the way this turned out. So the setup I'm running today, you can see here I'm running an EOTech 512, and I'm using the factory optics mount. It seems to be holding up pretty good so far. I just got probably about 100 rounds through this with a zero, a little bit of shooting, and so far holding up. And on the stock, I have the MKE telescoping stock. I also got this from Atlantic Firearms. The handguard is the B&T tri-rail for the MP5. And I have a Tango Down vertical grip, which I'm using to hold my pressure pad for my Arisaka light with the Malkov head, attached using an Arisaka Scout light adapter there. And other than that, that's pretty much it. Got my red wire gear sling on here. I tried out a few different muzzle devices on these. Wasn't able to find anything that attached and allowed you to attach a suppressor concentrically. This has odd thread length and a weird taper, so most suppressor mounts, adapters, muzzle devices are not going to attach properly on here. If you're running an overboard suppressor, you could probably get away with it, but not the best solution. Hopefully we'll see some solutions for these in the near future. This is in 5.56, as you can tell, so it is that big old MP5. And I'm looking forward to shooting this today, having some fun out here on the range, and hopefully you're going to be here along with me for the ride. So let's head down to the 7-yard line and see how it does up close. All right, here we are at 7 yards. It's going to give me a real good feel of the AP53. This is an SBR, so it does have the 4.1 tax stamp, and I am running a buttstock on that as well. So the 8-inch barrel, one of the features this does not have is being quiet. So I got that ear pro on. You're also going to notice a tinging from this 4-prong flash hider. In some cases, it almost seems like it's louder than the actual gun itself. Let's go ahead and just fire a few rounds here, give you an idea. Oh yeah. That's how you know dinner's ready, boys. All right, so that's something to be aware of. You're going to have that ringing sound from the flash hider. Until you build up a good amount of carbon on there, then that should go away. But yeah, let's go ahead and run into a build drill. All right, so my build drill, I'm at 7 yards. It's going to be 6 rounds, as fast and accurate as I can go, keeping it on paper. Let's see how we do. Let's give it a couple tries. All right, got a little bit hung up. The trigger is not great. It's not bad, it's just not great. Let's go ahead and try it again. All right, that first one was a 205. We can definitely do better than that. All right, that was a 154 that time. Not bad. Let's go ahead and look at the hits. Sometimes you guys like to see the hits. There we go, they're all on paper there, no cheating. And we are empty, out, and in. So the first mag you saw me running there it is. This is the factory magazine that comes with the firearm, the MKE 30 round magazine. And I also picked up some of these. This is the AC Unity Gen 2 HK53/33 magazines, and these seem to be running pretty good so far as well. One of the things that are cool about the factory magazine are you can kind of link mags together using these like notches that protrude. The problem is they don't fit inside mag pouches very well. So that's something to take into consideration when you are selecting your magazines is if you want something a little bit slimmer that doesn't have these notches, you may want to take a look at that AC Unity mag or some of the metal HK magazines. That last reload was a little yucky, so let's work on some of those. Now, these magazines are not necessarily rock and lock, but it's like a partial rock. All right, so you do have to hit the paddle release in the back, rock it forward. There's also this button here, but honestly, nobody uses that except that one guy in Die Hard.
Next time you have a chance to kill someone, don't hesitate.
All right, let's just try some reloads. Locker open, that mag out, new mag in, slap-a-rooney. All right, not too bad there. There we go, we're getting there. As far as internals go on this setup here, I'm running the HK parts, HK53 recoil spring. As a lot of you may or may not be aware of, the factory butt cap this comes with has a G3 style butt cap and a captive recoil rod. So you're gonna have to get a replacement recoil rod in order to use a standard stock on this. What some have done, or they have been able to cut the captive recoil rod out of that butt cap assembly and reuse that. I'm just running the standalone recoil spring assembly from HK Parts. It was about 44 bucks and seems to be working good for me so far. The trigger, everything else on here, the lock-in piece, everything is factory on the inside on this particular setup here, so I haven't swapped out any of the internals. I've heard for some that they're already swapping these triggers out in these, and like I said before, the trigger's not great. It is acceptable if you're trying to do stuff fast. It is a little bit more challenging, but for defensive and military purposes, seems like an acceptable trigger. Not the end of the world. Let's try a 1 through 15 drill. Really get a good feel for it, get a good tempo going. So I only fired 14 rounds, so I missed one of the rounds out of the drill. But yeah, definitely, I could feel that trigger. The reset is very deliberate. It's not a short reset at all. It's not a nice crisp break, but it is reasonable. I mean, you're not necessarily going to be shooting that fast a lot of the time. If you're going to use this for competition or something like that, or you just want to upgrade this and make it a little bit better, you might want to look into getting that trigger pack swapped out on here. And just to get an idea of the accuracy, I'm going to just fire 5 rounds at the target here at 50 yards, running some 62 grain, just target ammo, and let's see how we can do. All right, and here's what we're looking at from 50 yards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got about a 2-inch group or so. Again, I wasn't shooting proned out or anything like that, just off of a rest, but I'd say the accuracy is pretty acceptable just seeing that from the AP53 with that 8-inch barrel. For having an 8.5-inch barrel with just a flash hider, the recoil control and impulse on the AP53 is actually pretty good. But the question is, how does it shoot with the stock collapsed? All right, so maybe you just have it in pistol form. We'll start off with a little bit of 80s action from the hip. All right. All right, not bad, but let's take it up to Charlie Sheen and the U.S. Navy SEALs and add a little bit of sling tension to it and see how it does. All right, a little bit shaky. Let's try it again. Let's try a little bit of, go ahead and run it like so. Let's see how we do. A little bit better there. Not quite an MP5, but if you have it in the pistol form, I guess it is doable, but I would definitely recommend going with a stock or a brace, depending on whether or not you want to pay that tax stamp. Closing thoughts on the AP53. If you're looking for an HK53 and you don't want to spend the HK53 money, you don't want to hunt down a kit, have a kit built, then this is the way to go. And for the price, it's really hard to beat. To have this set up with this fit and finish, made in Turkey by MKE, imported by Century Arms, and there's already a good amount of aftermarket support for these, considering they take MP5 accessories up front, and Atlantic already has you covered with HK53 stocks, and I'm sure you can find some braces out there as well. But I'm really happy with this purchase. This is a really cool firearm to own, and it's a lot of fun to shoot, and it just looks killer. It has a rich history. If you haven't seen the videos out there by 9-Hole Reviews, they have a lot of really good information on the HK53 and similar. But yeah, so let me know what you think about that setup down in the comments below, and thanks for watching.